when I was starting, I was making an exhibition only about fish. And these were my first things when I was starting to make letters with fish. And they stole all the pieces inside the gallery. These pieces I really miss because I don't know where they are. All my work was for 2 years protected by government. Every material is somehow is that. I picked it up from the street and I use it because it's easier to use something which is already there than to rebuild it in other materials. Doesn't make sense for me. But then I get a lot of stress because in this country it's totally forbidden to pick up dead animals from the street. And they wanted to bring me in jail. Therefore, yeah, that was really, it was unbelievable because I didn't know that. I never thought about that these animals are protected because, I mean, the car is driving up on it and nobody cares, you know, so I can make art with it. There were 5 policemen inside my flat, and then they were in my studio, and they get more until 10 people staying here, and I had to open every box, and they were asking me for every animal, what is this, what is that, and then they make their sign on it. It's a police sign that you can't open it, that you can't move it, you're not allowed to sell it or whatever. It's protected by the government. Yeah, 3 lawyers I had already. I got my things back, but not all of them. Some artwork I had to change and to give up the animals. Even the mouses I had to give up. It's the same with the birds. All dead birds are protected. It's also the same for the insects. They told me, oh, you have these small little insects, they are protected. You can keep them, but you're not allowed to work with it. You can't take the animals which are living in freedom. And someone once put me a small little human baby in front of my door. And I have this still, because I didn't know what to do with it, you know? I mean, it must be from some medicine institute or something like that. And then they saw this, and then they said to me, we're not sure if you can have this. And I said, well, you know, this is no problem. This is the only piece you can just take away, no problem, just do it. And then they said, no. This is not working like this. We have to call the highest police guy in Berlin to ask him if you can still have it. And I said, no, you don't have to ask anyone. You just take it away, you know, because I never want it. And then he was calling the highest police guy, and he said, no, it's a human baby. It has this and that size, no problem. Yeah, humans are not protected by the government. That's the difference, you know. It's only for the dead animals. Strange situation. And then they were laughing. I said, yeah, well, you know, that's funny. I mean, I told them it sounds very Kafkaesque. It sounds like can't be true, you know. I just only make one, always. One piece, that's it. If you make a sculpture, it never can wake up directly. But if you put these dead animals into liquid, they seem to be, they can wake up and make like, just use their eyes or whatever, you know? They have a kind of sexuality. They are dead. I mean, they will be dead for the next couple of, I don't know, hundreds of years, so you can't wake them up. Sometimes you have a character, because like this dog, it's a very beautiful dog, and I saw this dog and I thought, okay, if it would be alive, I would take it directly. But it was dead. But it has so much character in his face that I try to give my best to give him his character back. But there are also many animals you can't see the character anymore because they have broken faces, you know. And so I try to give them a little bit like a soul bag. But when I'm creating them, I don't have an idea of the space where they have to stay. I have an idea, and before I start to work, I just think long time about it. What's important for me? Why do I have to make it in this way? And sometimes it's very difficult to talk about with other people, to talk about the idea of what you have in your mind. So you have two voices in your head, and you're talking, I mean, you're still one person, but you're talking about the same shit, but with different meanings, so that you can find a solution. I have this very often, that I'm thinking into different directions, that I could find one way for me, which has more arguments. It depends on the arguments. I'm using these like someone else is using the language to talk, to say something. Cancel all this shit into one sentence, you know, it's the same thing. Which sentence I could use? Life can be so nice. It's a couple of words and letters, but they're reminding you also to the former times of the Middle Age. When they were painting the first letters, they were looking like animals. And I'm using my dead animals a little bit like the fairy tales, when animals are talking for humans. It's a little bit like this. Plenty of people say, oh no, I can't see that. Almost women. No, I can't see that. But they couldn't go, you know. They were coming inside and they were going more and more, and after a while they were staying like this in front of the glass, and they didn't check even that these things you can read, you know, because they were like too close by them. For sure, it makes fun to break the taboos and to give another point of view. And when I have an exhibition, it's very funny. There are plenty of people who are staying in front of the window, who looks inside, and they start to fight with words to each other. I saw it when I was building it up. They were talking to each other, and then they were fighting, and then they really go into different directions. And very often people say, oh yeah, it's like Damien Hirst. And I say, you never would say to someone who's painting in oil, that's like Turner. I mean, you would say this, you know. There's so many other people who've done stuff like me before, like Fragonard. He was living in the 18th century. He was making these satires. He was really worked with dead human and animals. He put them together. So it's like Dürrenmatt said, you have an idea of something, and when you have this idea, everybody else can have the same idea at the same moment. My personal favorite is the Head 4. That's the name of. It's like a Medusa. It's with old snakes. I took a little bit the idea of Arcimboldo, this Italian manieristic painter. He was painting these vegetable heads of very famous kings, and I produced these heads like a 3D puzzle. So there are more than 17 animals which are rebuilding a human head. And this is one of my most loveliest pieces for me. But she's in Spain, she's in Barcelona, in the gallery there. What's the next step? It's to going to New York, because I always had the opportunity to have an exhibition there. I had already 3 galleries which canceled the project to work with me because we didn't get the stuff overseas. And so I thought, okay, I'm going to New York, produce there, and then I get my show. And the next thing is the museum in Skopje. They rebuilt the Museum of Modern Art there, and
show.